Picture yourself at a bustling coffee shop, the rich aroma of freshly ground beans swirling through the air. Your fingers tap nervously against the warm ceramic mug, creating tiny ripples in your untouched latte. Around you, conversations buzz, like a well-orchestrated symphony. Everyone seems to know exactly what to say, when to laugh, when to nod. Meanwhile, you're sitting there, desperately trying to look busy on your phone, its cool glass surface becoming your shield against the world. Sound familiar? That knot in your stomach, the slightly sweaty palms, the constant internal monologue of, what should I say? They're all part of a universal experience that most people never talk about. But here's what's fascinating. That same person avoiding eye contact in the coffee shop today could be holding court at a dinner party 6 months from now, telling stories that have everyone leaning in, wanting more. You see, becoming social isn't some mystical transformation that happens overnight. It's more like learning to play an instrument. At first, your fingers fumble, the notes come out wrong, and you wonder if you'll ever get it right. But then, something magical starts to happen. Just as a guitarist's fingers develop calluses from daily practice, your social skills develop their own kind of strength. Let's break down this fascinating journey of social transformation, starting with what scientists call the social muscle. Imagine your brain as a vast network of highways. Every time you engage in a social interaction, you're not just having a conversation, you're actually paving new neural pathways. Each smile exchanged with a barista, every good morning nodded to a neighbor. They're all like tiny construction crews, building stronger, more efficient routes for future social interactions. But here's where it gets really interesting. You know that feeling when you meet someone new and your mind goes blank? That's not a flaw in your social programming. It's actually an opportunity in disguise. Think of yourself as a detective at that moment. Every person you meet is carrying around their own collection of fascinating stories, hidden passions, and unexpected connections. Your job isn't to perform or impress, it's simply to uncover these treasures. Picture yourself at another coffee shop, but this time, something's different. Instead of shields up, phone out, you notice the person next to you has a book you've been meaning to read. The cover's worn at the edges, suggesting it's been read multiple times. Your curiosity peaks. Rather than crafting the perfect opening line, you simply lean in with genuine interest. That must be a good one. I've noticed you seem really absorbed in it. This is where the magic begins. You're not following a script or trying to be someone you're not. You're simply being a curious human being, interested in another curious human being. The conversation might flow naturally from there, or it might not. And here's the most liberating part. Both outcomes are perfectly fine. Think of social skills like building a house. You don't start with the roof. You begin with the foundation. Your foundation is made up of small, daily interactions. Each one might seem insignificant on its own, but together they create something remarkable. Day one might just be making eye contact and smiling at 3 strangers. The warmth in your smile might make someone's day, though you'll never know it. By day 7, you might find yourself giving a genuine compliment to someone at the grocery store. Their surprised smile becomes a small victory, a brick in your growing confidence. But let's talk about the elephant in the room, those cringeworthy moments that keep you awake at night. The joke that fell flat, the handshake that turned into an awkward wave, the name you forgot immediately after hearing it. Instead of seeing these as social failures, think of them as your best teachers. Every accomplished performer, athlete, or artist has a collection of spectacular failures that shaped their journey. Remember that coffee shop from earlier? Imagine going back there, but this time, you spill your drink all over the table. Your old self would have wanted to melt into the floor. But your new self? You laugh it off, make a joke about testing the napkin dispenser's capacity, and suddenly find yourself in a conversation with the person at the next table who rushes to help. Sometimes, our most human moments create the strongest connections. As you progress on this journey, you'll discover there are 3 levels to every conversation: surface, personal, and universal. Think of them like layers of an onion, each one revealing something more interesting than the last. The surface might be commenting on the weather, but beneath that could be a shared experience of getting caught in a memorable storm, and deeper still, a universal human experience of finding beauty in chaos. The most fascinating part? You don't need to transform into an extrovert or become the life of the party. The goal isn't to become someone else, it's to become a more connected version of yourself. Each small step you take, each conversation you initiate, is like adding a new color to your palette. Eventually, you're not just surviving social situations, you're painting with them. Think about it. Every great friendship, every meaningful relationship, every life-changing opportunity has probably started with a simple hello. That person sitting alone at the coffee shop right now, they might be at the beginning of their own social journey, just like you once were. And maybe, just maybe, your smile could be the first chapter in their transformation story. The path to becoming more social isn't about reaching a final destination. It's about embracing the journey itself. Each awkward moment, each successful connection, each lesson learned becomes part of your unique story. And the best part? This story is still being written, one interaction at a time. Remember, the world is full of people hoping to connect, waiting to share their stories, eager to hear yours. All it takes is that first step, that first hello, that first genuine moment of curiosity, and who knows? The next time you're in a coffee shop, you might just be the one initiating the conversation that changes someone else's day or life. After all, becoming social isn't about being perfect, it's about being present. And that presence, that authentic connection with others, is something we're all naturally wired for. It's not about learning something new, it's about remembering something we've known all along. We're all in this together, one conversation at a time.